in the next 2 months.
I'm looking forward to it. Have a wonderful day. It's been such an honor, Jim, and I wish you well today. Be well.
Thank you so much. Take care, friend. Bye.
Bye.
I'm trying to get my face in the light.
Yes. Well, you know, you look good in the darker light, Jerry, so it makes no difference. You look good either way. You look good either way. Well, we have next Larry. We just got finished with Larry. Now we have Jerry Valley. And Jerry, this is my first blab. It's your first blab, I would imagine. It's a very good way to communicate. I've got a lot out of it so far, and I'm hoping to get a lot more out of it as we progress through the day. And I think there's a number of things that you had indicated to me that you might like to talk about. But, you know, starting off, you've been around the world of hypnosis for quite a while. And why don't you kind of introduce yourself? Because there are a lot of people listening from all over the world that don't know Jerry Valley. They don't know Jim Wand like we know each other. So why don't you spend just a minute or two and give us an introduction of yourself, where you started, where you're at, and where you're going.
Well, I started actually my first exposure was with Sam Vine. I never believed in hypnosis, but Sam Vine from Canada was performing in my hometown of Lawrence, Massachusetts. And I thought it was all phony. I thought that people got paid to get up and do all those routines, but I took 6 people with me, party of 6. One of the girls was an introvert who volunteered for the show and became the star of the show. And it kind of blew my mind. I said, whoa, I know this girl. I know she's not getting paid to do these things. 2 years later, Harry Aarons. Remember Harry Aarons?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
He came to Boston to do the weekend course, and I took the course, and I studied, and I always wanted to be on stage, and I became very friendly with Sam Vine. And as a matter of fact, I used to do Sam Vine's music and sound effects for him.
Oh, wow.
Many years ago.
Okay.
I got into it Labor Day 1969. Now, I had one book. There were no courses. There were no videos, nothing. I had one book, Orman McGill's Encyclopedia of Stage Hypnotism. So I taught myself. Then I did a whole bunch of free shows. And my first show was for $25 and nothing to do with me. But the next day, the place burnt down. And I did so many shows in New England that the agents would start calling me, and every weekend I was doing shows at some supper club and so forth. Then they put me on the cruise ships. I was on the cruise ships for 10 years. The QE2, the Princess and the Countess, and I had all the famous stars were on with me: Norm Crosby, Robert Vaughn, the Platters, everybody. Got to know them all, and they came to my show. In fact, you remember the actor Robert Vaughn?
Yes.
The man from Uncle. The man from Uncle. He was amazed because he came to my show with his family, and his 12-year-old daughter got hypnotized in the audience at his table. So he called me over. He says, "Jerry, look at this." So we became friends. As a matter of fact, we're still friends. He just sends me a birthday card every year and says, "Jerry, I'm still under your spell." Then I got 15 movies. I've been in 15 movies. I was featured on 2020. I was in American Hustle with Jennifer Lawrence, and she's gorgeous. So what?
Wow.
And a great actress. So I've been doing this for 45 years. On the clinical side, I'm a National Guild of Hypnotists certified instructor with my son, Tommy V. And we do trainings on the clinical side. We certify for the Guild, and we do trainings in Las Vegas for the stage courses. I've taught probably 1,500 to 2,000 stage hypnotists, both men and women. And a lot of women are getting into it because most of the stage hypnotists, as you know, Jim, are men. So a good-looking female gets up there, they can fill the place and make a lot of money with it. $1,000, $3,000 a show, you know?
Sure.
So that's where I am today. I'm still doing shows and I'm still doing trainings. We have one coming up in March in Las Vegas. Can I give my number if they want to call me?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
978. It's 978-688-6657. Give you all the details on our clinical course and also on the stage course.
Now I know that you've added some additional personnel to your stage course. I think you have Michael now, Michael DeCharlotte. Do you have also who else do you have?
Oh yes. I'm glad you brought that up. In Las Vegas, we do a 5-day stage course, which is tremendous. and we have 5 brilliant instructors. We have Tommy V, who's my son, Michael DeShalit from Arizona, Amy Shallow from Minnesota, Kelly Kyle from Las Vegas, and me. 5 instructors doing a 5-day course, which is, and we were the original course. You know, Armin McGill and I in 1998 started the first stage training ever. Nobody did it before us. We started the first one, and as you know, Armin McGill passed away in 2005. So we're still continuing to do the stage course. And we're the original. We have 5 great instructors, and it's a reasonable price to attend.
So
what else can I tell you?
Well, Jerry, why do you continue to do both stage and clinical? I mean, you've done. Why do you continue to do both?
Well, because you know the profit, the money is about 50-50. Okay. I make about 50% on stage. But I enjoy working with people one-on-one to help them with their problems. I mean, they come with me with all kinds of problems, alcoholism, you know, cancer, everything. And I have a master's degree in psychology. In fact, I'm going to go for my PhD soon before I get too old. And when somebody comes to my office, and Tommy works in the office too, and they're successful, Jim, I think I feel like I'm floating on a cloud. Because their success is my success. I am thrilled. And when they fail, occasionally, not too often, but when they fail, I get a little depressed about that. But that's why I do the clinical. Okay. I like to help people. But I love being on stage. And I've been in plays, I've been in movies, and I teach it all in Las Vegas.
So how do you think, Jerry, that stage and clinical can work together more freely?
Well, let me put it this way. That's a good question, because a lot of clinical hypnotists think, oh, now you shouldn't do stage. Well, let me tell you something. If you do a clean, ethical show that we don't do R-rated, we do not do X-rated, okay? And some of my friends do that in Vegas, and I understand they're making a living at it. But I don't do that type of show. Okay. When I do a show, a local show, we get clients from that show, because when they see the show and they see it and they think, well, you know, we tell them during the show, we have a clinical office, and if you need any help to improve your life, give us a call. And we get clients from doing the show. Now, in the Erie County Fair in Hamburg, New York, this August, I'm doing my 22nd year. Wow. 22 years at the Erie County Fair. And the people love it. Now, I have trained, for example, Lori Redlinsky in Buffalo. So I promote her office when I do the shows in Camberg, because she lives right in that area. They're no good to me because I'm in Massachusetts. So she gets a lot of clients from my shows. That's how the two mesh together.
Okay. And sure.
If you do a good show, you do a clean show, and you don't embarrass anybody, you will get clients if you have a hypnosis practice.
So what would you say then, which is easier, stage hypnosis or clinical hypnosis?
Oh, my God. Stage hypnosis is so much easier, and let me tell you why. Well, Jim, you know why. If you have a practice, a hypnosis practice, and a client walks in, you're stuck with that client. The client could be great, could be good, could be bad, could be refractory. On stage, we have the luxury of starting with 20 or 30 people, and we pick the best subjects. We have the luxury of picking the best subjects, and we send the rest back to the audience. That's why it's easier than clinical. We have the luxury of just picking those subjects. And when I go to Erie County Fair, for example, my reputation precedes me. It actually precedes me. So over 50,000 to 60,000 people have seen my show at the Erie County Fair. So they can't. Now I do the last 6 days of the fair, and they call up and say, "When's Jerry Valley coming? When's he coming? When's he coming?" And I pack them in. At my average audience there, 600 people in the audience, and I love that fair.
And you've been doing that for 22 years.
22 years. Yeah, I did all the fairs on the East Coast. I did the Philadelphia State Fair. I did the Rhinebeck, New York State Fair, County Fair. I did the Brevard County Fair in Florida. I did many fairs along the East Coast. I don't do the West Coast so much.
Okay.
And fairs are great to do. I mean, they treat you nice. The audiences are fantastic. And we teach our people, the big money is in colleges, high schools, and fairs, and corporate events too. So, I'm still teaching, and I have like Amy Shallow in Minnesota. She's doing great. She's one of my students, and she's doing probably 5 to 6 shows a month. And she has a clinical office too. So she does both. You can do both if you do a clean show.
Well, how do you go about marketing yourself to get shows and clients then?
Well, of course I go on Facebook, and I have clients, agents like you that book me. You have booked me. Okay. Jim Wan, and I got Gary Tyson books me. Excel agency books me. So I have agents that book me like you, and then I book myself too if they come directly to me. So we've got different avenues of booking,
Yeah, okay. Well, then let's say somebody wants to start out today, and here's stage hypnosis and here's clinical hypnosis, and they're not sure which way to go.
I would start with stage, and then it makes clinical much easier. As a matter of fact, a lot of people, when they've taken my stage course and they already have a practice, tell me that what they learned in my stage course gave them more confidence to do the clinical side. And I mean, they can start with clinical if they want to and then take the stage, but usually they take the stage first and then they jump over to clinical. Are you an NGH member?
I am.
Jim?
Absolutely.
Are you?
I started out, I don't know if, I'm an NGH member. I started out, and I think you're correct there. I started out in clinical, and I had to work my way through it. I did for about 8 years before I got into the entertainment. But just like what Larry talked about a little bit earlier, by being a stage entertainer first, it was easier for him to transition into being a successful practitioner in the clinical setting. And I could see where that's the case, because you get more confidence. You know what to deal with if you have an issue come up. You know how you can deal with it with running on your feet, so to speak. So yeah, I kind of agree with that. And I was just wondering what your thoughts were.
Well, that's Larry is right. I mean, it gives you tremendous confidence, because when you get 10, 12, 15 people on stage running around the stage doing all those crazy things, when you get a one person into your office, it makes it a lot easier because you've got the confidence.
Absolutely.
After, you've done stage will give you tremendous confidence, and it pays very well too. I mean, you can make $1,000 to $3,000 a show, that, and sometimes more. I did a show in Las Vegas for $3,500 and all expenses paid. That was fantastic.
Absolutely.
But the average is about $1,500 a month, $1,500 a show.
So okay. Well, you did cruise ships for 10 years. The cruise ship business is a little bit different. I did back in the early 90s. I did 40 weeks straight on the cruise ship. But you did 10 years. What made you get away from the cruise ships? Was there a reason you decided no longer to do cruise ships, or up, or what?
Actually, what happened is there was a hypnotist in California who did a very bad thing on a cruise ship. He was. I want to be sensitive about this. I'm not going to mention his name, of course. But he was caught with a 14-year-old passenger boy in his cabin, which kind of killed it for all of us for a while. They just stopped using hypnotists because of the liability. And so I just got back into my land contacts, and but I just contacted the cruise ship now, the Carnival. They're looking at my brochure. I'd like to do a few cruises. I haven't done a cruise ship for 20 years now, sure, but I'd like to do a couple more, Sure. And so the cruise ships were interesting because if I did a 10-day cruise ship, I worked one night, 2 shows, 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, and the rest of the time I had the run of the ship. Whether we went into a port or something, I had the run of the ship. I was like a first-class passenger. It was sure, great duty. And most of it was on the QE2. Oh, by the way, on the clinical side, Jim, if anybody's listening that does clinical hypnosis, I'd like to give them a gift.
Sure.
I have found a method. You know how when people have a surgery and they have general anesthesia, they normally get sick when they come out of it?
Right.
They're nauseous and stuff. I fix that. I make my client a CD where I show them the relaxation, and then I tell them to say this to themselves. And I'll give it to you now and for your listening audience, okay? If they say this to themselves, this really works. I feel calm, relaxed, confident, refreshed, and slightly hungry. You can't be nauseous and slightly hungry at the same time. And that works. I'm going to do it again so they make sure they get it down. I feel calm. And then, you make them a CD so they can listen to it. I feel calm, relaxed, confident, refreshed was a wonderful word, and slightly hungry. And you know what, Jim? It works.
Yeah, because you can't counteract and do two things at the same time. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So I give that out. And, I've had doctors come to me for stress relief. I get a lot of referrals from doctors. My doctor's son had ADD. I helped him. He is now a 28-year-old psychologist, and so he's doing fine. I had a lady brought two girls, twins, 8 years old, who bedwetting. I cured them, and we became good friends. I went to their school plays. We went to their house. We had dinner together. We're still in touch, and now they're 23 years old, and they don't wet the bed anymore.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, you've been really successful. Have you ever bombed in a show?
Overall, we're 92% successful with everything.
Okay.
Overall. Now, the one thing that I'm not successful in is working with somebody that's on heroin. Heroin is such a strong drug that I've had no success with that at all. But I have cured people. I've got people off pot and coke. But heroin is a bad scene. Bad scene. Okay. It's a dead end street.
What define what you would call a lecture demo? I know you would put that as a question you'd like to respond to.
Lecture demos are great for people who want to get more clients to their office. Okay, lecture demo is usually done for, like, say, the Alliance Club or the Rotary Club. Last year, I did a thing for the Rotary Club, and they raised $6,000, a fundraiser. So this is what you do. It's for a small group, like 30, 40 people. You do a lecture on the clinical side for 20 minutes. You talk about painless childbirth, stop smoking, weight control. Mike DeShalden and I we wrote a manual for the gastric band. You're familiar with that, right?
Yes.
Gastric band. Now, this is anybody contemplating the surgery for the gastric band. They should think twice about that, because surgery is always dangerous, and we do it, which is non-surgical, where the subconscious mind believes that there's a band around your stomach, and we're getting tremendous results. Then we do stress reduction. We do how to pass exams. We have many law students come to us who get nervous when they take an exam, and tension. We discovered that tension blocks memory, and relaxation keeps it open. So we were 100% successful on that. I had a state trooper recently that works at Boston Logan Airport. What he had to do was a procedure with a machine gun, because now they carry machine guns because the bad guys carry machine guns. But he did it in 15 seconds. He had to do it in 7 seconds or less. With hypnosis, Jim, I had him do it in 5 seconds. He called me up after the exam and said, Jerry, not only did I pass the exam, 2 more things. I came in first, and I am now making $40,000 a year more than I was working. I got a $40,000 a year raise, and all because you helped me. And that makes me feel great, I've helped them.
So if there's one thing that you'd like to pass along to the people who are listening today to this blab about participating, what would be one bit of information because you have a lot of expertise in both the clinical and the stage. Is there one particular thing that you could give them? You already did with the suggestion just a minute ago, but what would be something that you might want to pass along?
Well, okay. Let me pass along the definition of success.
Good.
When preparation meets opportunity. Preparation is take a professional course. Now, you know I have courses, right?
Yes.
Training courses, but there are other courses out there too. And some of them are good and some of them are not good. So if you're going to take a course from anybody, check their credentials. Okay. My credentials, 45 years in the business, featured on 2020. I was actually featured on 2020 with John Stossel. Been in 15 movies. I've done clinical and stage all these years. And now I've done training since 1998. That's when we started. And so the preparation is to take a professional course, but check the credentials of the instructors. Oh, by the way, the other female that I've added for Las Vegas training is Kelly Kyle. Do you know Kelly?
I do.
Kelly Kyle in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does a lot of food champs. So we've got 2 females and 3 men, including my son and me and Mike DeShalit. So get prepared properly. Don't go off half-baked, okay? I had a guy take a course some years ago, and actually he wanted his money back. And I said, well, wait a minute, hold on, I'll work with you. You know, if I get cut off, it's because my battery died out. But I'm going to do this fast. And I said, well, did you watch all the videos? We give them a package that's worth $1,800. Videos, tapes, not tapes, but videos, DVDs I'm talking about. I said, well, did you read the book? Well, I didn't read the book yet. Well, did you watch the DVDs? No. He said, but I did 2 shows and they were bad. You said I'd be good at it. Well, yeah, but you got to do the preparation. You got to do the homework. I said, I'll work with you if you want. He said, no, I'm going to get my money back. So anyway, he canceled a credit card on me, and I appealed. And I told the credit card, I said, he took our training. He took our food because we feed them too. And I offered to help him because he went off half-baked. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't do the preparation. You know what happened? They bounced it back to him, and they did not charge me back. So you have to be prepared, and the way to get prepared is to take the best professional course. Then the opportunity is to go out and get your feet wet. I got a local guy here. He knows the induction. He knows the introductions. He knows the induction, and he knows some of the routines, but he's yet to do a show. He doesn't have the nerve to get out there and do a show. I said, you got to go out and do a show, and then you get your feet wet. And, you know, I had one of our ladies do a show, and it was a bad show, and I spent 4 hours with her yesterday. We give the after-class support, you know, we give for lifetime at no charge. I spent almost 4 hours with her yesterday going over what she did wrong. And now she's all set to do it right. So sometimes they make a mistake. They think they're prepared, but they go off half-baked, you know? Absolutely. So my answer is be prepared, practice well, know all of the routines like the back of your hand, and then you will progress. And then once you do half a dozen shows, you're doing fine. You do a dozen shows, you up the price, and they make good money. I mean,
it looks like